Tonight on Q2, race to the finish.
It was a fair budget when we sent it over. It's a fair budget coming back.
What's really going on here is this is a budget based on smoke and mirrors.
Lawmakers at the state capitol push to get bills to the governor before it's too late. Plus, concerns over cuts. With DOGE taking aim at the VA, several Montanans fear what it could mean. The one VFW commander says not to worry.
I don't anticipate right here in Montana any cuts to our VA system.
And fostering a culture of love and learning.
Just being there and seeing them when they look at you and smile.
A pair of super seniors helping in the classroom and making a difference in the lives of kids. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us on this Monday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Well, today marks the start of the end. Montana lawmakers have just a few more days to get their bills across the finish line and to the governor's desk. Tonight, MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has a look at bills reaching their conclusion in coming days and why lawmakers are confident they can get it all done.
With 8 working days left in the legislature's 2025 session, the biggest bills still outstanding are bouncing back and forth between the House and Senate as lawmakers try to find final language that will work for both chambers. If the two chambers pass different versions of a bill, the first chamber that heard it can either accept the new version, sending it on to the governor, or reject it, requiring a conference committee to put together a final version of the bill. House Bill 2, the $16 billion main budget bill, is one of the major bills that's reached this point. Supporters in the House said the Senate's changes didn't harm and might help HB 2. Opponents said the budget plan wasn't serious about controlling spending.
It was a fair budget when we sent it over. It's a fair budget coming back.
What's really going on here is this is a budget based on smoke and mirrors.
In the end, the House gave initial approval to the Senate's version of the bill.
We are not getting better by going to a conference committee. It's only going to get worse. Vote green and let's be done.
On property taxes, there are 2 bills still alive that would establish homestead tax rates. The House had HB 231, the Senate had SB 542, and they sent both to conference committees.
Let's do not concur in this. Maybe we can find a better shade of lipstick to put on this pig when it comes back from a conference committee.
One major issue that does appear resolved for this session is income tax. On Monday afternoon, Governor Greg Gianforte signed HB 337, which both brings down Montana's higher income tax rate and allows more Montanans to pay the lower rate.
This is truly a historic day for Montanans, Montana families, and Montana taxpayers.
HB 2 will need to clear one more vote in the House before going to the governor. The conference committees on the 2 property tax bills are expected to meet on Tuesday. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
A breakthrough tonight in the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling for a 3-day pause in the fighting. That ceasefire would start on May 8th and coincides with victory celebrations marking the end of World War II. But Ukrainians say there's no trust in Putin. And President Trump also signaled frustration, questioning if he truly wants to end the conflict. Ukraine is looking for a ceasefire lasting much longer, one that would come with security guarantees. The White House says it's a critical week for those negotiations. Tonight, government agencies continue to be caught in the crosshairs of cuts by the Department of Government Efficiency. That includes the VA, where 1 in 5 staffers will soon lose their jobs. And it's not just jobs being cut. The VA is also set to lose more than $35 million in research funding. That has many concerned, but as our Charlie Klefs reports, some believe Montana will not be impacted as much as other states.
As DOGE continues to make cuts to government jobs and government services, there's been a lot of conversation about the impacts it could have on the VA. But here at the VFW in Billings, veterans are confident and hopeful that that won't be the case. It might sound and look like a regular bar.
The people that come here for help are really in need.
But this VFW on the Billings South Side doubles as a safe haven.
We do a lot for veterans here.
A place for veterans to get assistance with anything they might need.
I help 2 or 3 a week with just food and gas money.
Commander of the post, Jerry Hudson, says the help and support they provide is critical to veterans just like himself.
I'm a disabled vet. I had Agent Orange from Vietnam. I've had cancer twice, and I'm 100% disabled. So I get a benefit monthly, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
But ever since Elon Musk made this statement,
the people voted for major government reform.
Questions have circled over the future of government organizations like the VA. Protests broke out all across the country after President Trump proposed cutting 80,000 VA jobs along with $35 million in research funding.
People here have unity!
These were the scenes at one in Billings mid-March. However, Hudson doesn't share those same concerns.
I have been assured that there will be no disability payment cuts or any benefit cuts to any veterans.
He believes that these cuts will be at high administrative levels, more specifically, not in Montana.
Honestly, I think you're going to see more cuts in the Pentagon than you are in the VA system.
Which is why he's confident his life, and the life of many others he helps with, will go on like it has for decades.
It's been around since the Revolutionary War. That's when the VA started making benefits to veterans. They don't want to cut into the veterans.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Cardinals have set May 7th as the start date to elect a new pope. The conclave could open earlier, but Cardinals gave themselves extra time to speak in more informal sessions. Many Cardinals cited a desire to continue Francis's mission to focus on people who are marginalized and victims of war. However, conservatives are focused on core doctrines emphasized by Popes John Paul II and Benedict XVI.
Definitely cooler today. Also some periods of wind, but the bigger story was the rain. 41 mile per hour wind gusts for Billings today hit a high of 50 degrees. 55/100ths of an inch of precipitation since midnight, but add that to what we received on Sunday evening, and just so close to being at 1 inch of total precipitation. Sheridan, you picked up some pretty good moisture out of this. Miles City, Livingston, everybody with some moisture. So here's a look by county. You can see we've got some pretty good rain totals, 1 to 2 inches widespread in Carbon County, right around Roscoe, almost 3.5, well, right around 3.5 inches of rainfall, and near Fishtail, over 4 inches of total precipitation.
When you hear the word parasite, you might think of something disgusting. But a Billings woman is hoping to bring beauty to the ugly through art, using it to educate about the world around us. Our Isabel Spartz has more.
Out of your pores like the human fly, out of a nose like with
Lindsay Munson likes to see the beauty in the ugly.
And the bloodsucker ones are always the fun ones.
Her current obsession? Parasites.
Parasites inhabit 1/3 or more of our planet. It's a lifestyle.
Anything from leeches and hookworms to birds, pets, and even people.
Human beings, we're parasites. Making hosts take care of us is another form of parasitism.
Her perhaps gross obsession stems from her love of the outdoors.
My comfortability with parasites is due to Maine and being in mud up to my neck and being like, oh, look how many leeches I can get on me.
And now seen through art, sharing it during Sustaina Billings Earth Week, putting together a live viewing and discussion on Saturday at this House of Books.
So this is a lamprey. They're a jawless fish. They suction their way into their victim, their host, which is a fish.
She's at 30 drawings now, collecting even weirder things to draw next, growing her 6-month-long project to over 100 art pieces. Not all these things she can get in Montana, but she's determined.
There's a mantis parasite. The horseworm goes in the mantis. It's crazy. And it comes out when you put it in water. I'd like to get one suspended in a jar at some point.
As gross as it sounds, her project is more than just art. It's about awareness.
It's a lifestyle, and so I notice like a lot of people have a confusion about parasites. They think that it's just bugs. And if you think that bugs are just parasites, you're probably being parasiticized on already.
It might not make sense to you, but to Munson, these are the creatures that live in our ecosystem. So we might as well get to know them.
To, know that they're not empty beings. There is a little bit of reason to the chaos out there, because if you can understand it, then you have a better ability to control it.
In Billings, Isabel Spartz, MTN News.
Super Seniors is sponsored by Master Lube.
We head back to school to meet this week's super seniors. They're part of a group of super seniors in the Foster Grandparent Program, a national service program that's sponsored with matching funds through Intermountain Health. They're making a difference in kids' lives by doing what many grandparents do best.
You'll find Colleen Stiles here in the classroom at Orchard Elementary School. She's not the teacher, she's the grandma.
I love kids, that's why I do this.
She previously taught school and decided to volunteer as a foster grandparent after her husband passed away.
I think this program is terrific because I think it helps three groups. It helps the kids, it helps the teachers, and it helps us seniors. It gives us something to think about other than ourselves.
About a cow? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just down the hall, Mary Anderson is also busy helping students with their reading and writing. Unlike Colleen, she had no previous experience in education.
And I've had friends and family say, you should have been a teacher. I was like, no, that's a whole different patience level. I'm a pushover with the kids, so it's fun.
Mary and Colleen are two of the 29 super seniors currently in the Foster Grandparents Program.
I coordinate the program.
Lisa Lemire is the program manager.
It gets them out of the house, recognizing that they have amazing qualities that they can still add to the community. They become a solution for a problem. And so it's worked great for the last 54 years. It's just an amazing program.
The volunteers are paid a small stipend of $4 an hour for their time, but both say there's a much bigger reward that comes from working with the kids.
The hugs, I get lots of hugs, and I'll be in a grocery store and this kid will come up behind me and throw his arms around me and grandma, grandma. And mom will say, hey, you don't know her. Yes, I do. She's my grandma.
Just being there and seeing them when they look at you and smile, their eyes, and just know that they got that attention from you, that individual attention.
That individual attention, it can make a big difference in a child's life and a foster grandparent's life as well.
I encourage anybody to get involved in helping others, just because you get as much out of it as those that you're helping.
And if you'd like to nominate someone for this segment, you can do so by clicking on the Super Seniors tab. It's right there at the top of our website, ktvq.com.